Rolling? Okay, great. Can you cheer up?
No.
I'm going to do my goofy, like, hi, everyone, and welcome.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And you're just going to...
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say, hi, everyone, and welcome. You're just going to be miserable?
Be miserable.
Is that because you realize this is the Don podcast?
You definitely hijacked it.
I
called it.
Well, I didn't hijack it.
I predicted this when I pitched it to you. I did.
You did, but it's because... Please, are you going to edit these episodes? I'd be thrilled if you did. No, so that's the problem. This would not exist.
That doesn't mean that you get to hijack it just to shill your products.
What products? What products am I shilling?
Movies, books.
You mean the Arborist that's coming out in February of 2026? Of which I was one of 5,000 producers, according to you. Yes, the Arborist, streaming. Just go buy it, watch it. But what else? What other products? Oh, do you mean my book? So the movie's coming out in February, and of course, my novel, Ascendants, drops March 24th of 2026. So it may already be out, available where gourmet books are sold.
I'm embarrassed.
Amazon.
I'm always embarrassed to know you, but I'm embarrassed for you right now.
Why are you embarrassed for me? This has been called... Can I tell you what this is called?
Shame.
A random person online who got an advanced copy called it a science fiction Game of Thrones. I didn't even pay for that review. Can you imagine?
No, they didn't.
Science, I swear to God.
I paid for that review because I knew how much this book needed
Science
help.
fiction
I paid
Game
that.
of Thrones.
I paid that.
We'll talk about the book later, but
yeah.
I welcome
sure
everyone. Welcome everyone to the 2026 year of No Win Scenario podcast. I am Don Schechter,
all of you guys.
and this crabby magoo is Trevor Chamberlain. Trevor, I don't care
the
how you
man
do
with
it.
the original idea who's being left out in the cold.
What comes next?
I don't know. You tell me, Don.
See?
It's
you
your show
are
now.
Lost without my guidance and my leadership is what you are.
I haven't listened to anything you've said in the last 20 seconds.
Damn it, Trevor. We had a shtick.
Line.
Two friends who hate each other.
Rude.
Talking science fiction.
It has become this cultural phenomenon.
Along with some special guests.
I appreciate what Star Trek did to me.
I would love to have this book get banned.
That wasn't acting. That was real.
Do you know what our YouTube channel is?
Absolutely not. No win scenario.
With Trevor and Don.
Okay, we're not doing that.
Boom.
Well, Trevor, I'm going to move past this little spat of ours.
Yep.
You know, you always complained that I was wearing the brand new No Win Scenario merch and shirts. So for this episode...
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
The no win scenario shirt with misspelled words
that
on
typo
it.
was all last year. I got brand new ones.
Wait, are you literally blaming it on a 2025 thing?
Yes, I've got brand new shirts.
2025 was so bad it caused typos. Yeah.
Yes, brand new shirts.
was a
They're
pretty bad
great. I've demoed it. Works for me. Works for my kids. Maybe you'll get one day.
I like it.
I figured I can't always be a big no-win scenario shill, so I went vintage. So I'm going to strip for you, sir. Prepare yourself. And I wore this T-shirt especially for you. Now, I don't know if you know what this is. Can you read it for our listeners?
So what it is that it's a play on South Park, and it says Babylon Park, and it has the 4 key characters from South Park in costumes of characters from Babylon 5.
Wow.
And it is the stupidest thing I have ever seen. And it totally tracks that not only would you wear it, but you would pay money.
I've had this for quite some time.
Yeah.
This was a really funny, there was an actual animated thing of this mashup, and it worked really well.
Did you use the 8 cents from that sausage company that we've made so far in ad revenue to pay for that
We
shirt?
haven't made cents, man. We've made dollars.
Dollars? How many dollars?
Like 11.
11.
American dollars. Yeah.
My YouTube channel has made 68 cents so far, so we're killing it.
What do you do on your YouTube channel? Tell us what you do. Actually, we don't care.
Yep.
So, what's your YouTube channel?
We'll talk about it in the future.
TrevorPorn.xx.
Yes, that's it. TrevorPorn.xx.
Trevor, yes, we will talk about it in the future.
We'll talk about it in the future.
Do you know, have you figured out, it's a new year, so have you figured out what our YouTube channel is? Here on the No Win Scenario podcast? Because, the opening of our show has you not knowing what our, and it says it right there, at No Win Scenario podcast. Can you say that? You think you could say it?
At No Win Scenario podcast?
Some animals can't be trained. So You want to talk sci-fi?
Yeah, sure.
Because we have a lot of guests this year. You know why?
Why?
I don't know. I'll have to book them
Yeah,
myself because
we
you
don't
don't
have-
book anyone.
as far as I know, we don't
right
have
now,
any-
have you booked anyone?
I have not booked a single person. I have contacted people, and instead, it's really weird. Instead of saying no, they just don't get back to me at all. So,
Can I say something serious?
Yeah.
So part of like the book publishing process is that when you have the advanced copy, and I'm learning this from the publisher, you go out and you request blurbs from established authors or known people to see, if you get their quote on your book, to get a praise page, things like that. So they said contact everyone and anyone you know. And I was shocked because I'm not friends with any of these people, but I have a bunch of people that I've interviewed over the years, going back 15, 20 years, as well as because I teach at a university, like I have a university email address and like credentials that way. So I emailed everyone through my university email. So I emailed people like Werner Herzog didn't get back to me. But I emailed him once years ago, he got back to me. But I emailed Andy Weir, and who wrote The Martian, and like Gregory Maguire, who I interviewed once, who wrote Wicked, Adrian Tchaikovsky, I believe, all these really famous people, J. Michael Straczynski, who did Babylon 5, who I love, who I even have a thing in my book about. And you know what? They didn't ignore me. Almost, I'd say like 95% of like the 20 people or 30 people that should have ignored me, like really should
they
have
all
ignored
sent
me.
rejection letters.
They all said really nice ones.
Yeah.
Where for the most part, they don't do it.
Yeah.
I think that's true for some of them. Some of them were like, I'm writing a book now, I can't do it. But I was really surprised. They were like, oh, I appreciate you reaching out. Like, it's really nice. Like, I just don't do this anymore because I get a lot of requests, things like that. But I was really stoked because I got just last week, a few quotes coming in. So the book cover is being finalized right now. I have an advanced copy here for you, which you can read. But really the big coup. So like right off sorry, I apologize.
No, that was funny.
I thought
That was
new
really funny.
year I'd be nicer to you.
Well, you're kicking it off and
But
with grace.
I've got a quote from Erin McDonald, who's the science advisor for Star Trek. Her name was actually also on behind on the board on Starfleet Academy, which I know you'll get around to watching one day. She wrote a great blurb that'll probably go on there. Derek Tyler Attico, who we had as a guest on the show,
He's awesome.
who wrote the autobiography of Benjamin Sisko. He gave me a great quote.
Great author, great interview.
I got a great review from the Manhattan Book Review. But really the one that was like, wow, I'm so grateful is actually one from Ray Kurzweil, who I think you know. So what do you know about him?
Ray Kurzweil, we worked on a documentary, what was it, maybe 15 years ago?
Yeah, it was around like 2007 and 8, something like that.
It was
Yeah.
on Ray Kurzweil. And
Wait, you were there? I forgot you were involved with that.
I was a B camera operator on that for
Like,
a
I don't know, for a
fair
couple
amount of
years.
it.
Really? It must have been a double B.
Yeah,
operator.
you know what? I think it was. I think it was definitely C or D. But yeah, we worked on it, and I met him and had a few conversations with him.
So he's this very interesting guy. He's so the documentary was called Transcendent Man. It was directed by Barry Ptolemy. When he couldn't come out from California to work on it, he would hire me to sort of produce it, manage a crew, and we would go and film Ray at his house and doing events and all that stuff.
Ray lives in the area.
He lives right around the corner, and he's a futurist, an inventor, computer scientist, theorist. Back then he was talking about, he didn't invent the idea of the singularity, but he made it popular with his writings and his research.
Actually becoming
and
true.
it's coming true. The fact, and that's the fact that technology is exponentially growing, and that there's going to be a point where the technology outpaces human ability, and that there's going to want to be this merger of humanity and technology.
Technology and humanity will fuse.
It will fuse.
It's already happening.
And it was controversial-ish back then, but now with like the rate of AI that's exploding, people see it in their everyday lives. And so I think by 2029 is when he predicted we'd hit that point.
Gosh, I assumed we already hit it.
No, we're aiming towards it, and he's got some books coming out too. But we did this film years and years ago, and luck has it that at the end of last year, he started to come into my studio to do some work with us on streaming and broadcast and stuff like that, and some recordings. And so I got to reconnect with him, and So
I
we
mean,
worked with
he's
Ananda.
highly regarded. He has connections with major celebrities in the sci-fi community.
Yeah,
He's
and
very.
he's
it's a hell of a get.
Yeah, so it was great. So his cover,
for you.
his quote will be right on the cover
That's
of it.
awesome.
So I'll have that cover for you in a week or two.
That'd be great.
And it drops March 24th on Amazon. Pre-sales will start soon. And that is the end of what I'm selling. So what do you want to talk about?
Have you watched Pluribus yet?
So you want to go from talking about my book.
I want to do anything to get away from your crap.
So I have seen it. I've seen this first season. First
Yep.
season's been over for a while.
Yep.
What do you think?
As a Vince fan
Yeah.
who has the
Vince Gilligan.
who holds the theory or belief that while Breaking Bad is very good, it doesn't hold a candle to Better Call Saul.
Oh my God, I could not disagree with you anymore.
Better Call Saul is his finest work, and Breaking Bad is great and iconic, but Breaking Bad gave him the freedom to do what
It gave him
he
the
really
what he wanted
wanted
to do. I agree. Give him the
and
freedom.
Better Call Saul is
But-
I find it to be damn near perfect from beginning to end.
I don't.
With Kim Wexler being just one of the great characters written in a long time.
I think the characters are great in that. I think the acting was great. I understand the pacing he was going for, but I just didn't have the attention span for it, for that show.
Oh, so
So
it's your fault, not the show's.
Well, I think most people didn't have the attention span for that show.
Really?
I do. I think people still-
all joking aside, it still did pretty well. I mean, it didn't do
well.
Breaking Bad numbers,
and I think
it
that's
still
why
did
it
pretty
did
well.
Breaking Bad, I think, was one of the best television shows ever put on air. I think it had the best acting across the show.
I mean, I would
period.
agree
I mean,
with
it's up
that.
there with The Wire and Sopranos and things like
Well, I
that.
don't know if it's up there with The Wire.
Well, The Wire is
yeah.
probably supreme
Yeah,
of
The
shows,
Wire is
except
the-
for one or two seasons, though. I mean, so it's like on whole, I think Breaking Bad on whole is a great show. But that show moved and a lot of things happened. Maybe there was too much story in Breaking Bad. I don't know. I loved it.
No, I loved it too.
Better Call Saul, I was always hoping for like a little bit more, a little bit more to happen. But I think going back to
was perfect.
Pluribus, I think a lot of the criticism that I was reading about the show was that they would take an action that could have been done in the tease or in the first act of a show, and they stretched it out for 3 episodes. And like, yes, it's setting the mood of her isolation and despair. That could have been 2 episodes or 1 episode. I loved the opening of Pluribus with the bookstore was hysterical. And I feel like the rug got pulled out from me a little bit because I thought it was going to be that witty at that point, at that pacing maybe. And then it just stops. And I get you got to get through her despair and all that stuff.
You mean the character development?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've never been one for character development.
Oh, you're going to do all you care about is world building?
Yeah.
No, but I think, where are we at the end of the show? The first season.
Where we
Where
are
is she? Yeah.
is that spoilers. Where we are is that she had her principles. She abandoned them out of loneliness, which I think she feels is weak, but gave into them anyways, and then came back round to her principles with without spoiling it, a level of conviction that we could only describe as atomic. And I thought that was a really fascinating character arc. I mean, I was not a fan of the first episode.
Okay.
Didn't like it.
Yeah. It was too wacky in the beginning or something?
It reminded me even though these shows couldn't be further apart, it just reminded me of a lot of what I didn't like about Game of Thrones, where there would just be whole episodes that were just set up.
Speaking of Game of
set up.
Thrones.
Oh, no.
Did you know that my book has been called The Science Fiction Game of Thrones? Ascendants,
I don't
coming
think
out
that's
March 2026.
I hope it sells a lot. I hope it sells a lot of books. I personally think that's damning praise as somebody who's not the biggest Game of Thrones fan. But it hooked me. Pluribus hooked me on the second episode, and I thought, okay, you want to get deep?
Get deep.
Okay. As somebody who's about to turn 50.
You're going to be 50?
Somebody who's about to turn 50.
And so with that, we're looking for a new co-host on the podcast.
Who has...
Well, happy birthday. When's your birthday?
I'm not revealing it here.
He's
let
never
me tell
told
you.
me. I have to tell you that.
Somebody who's about to turn 50 is somebody who, as
Wait,
I
aren't
think
you throwing your party here? I thought you asked about throwing the party here.
I think I did.
You did.
Yeah, and then I thought I had better thoughts after that. And anybody within my age group,
Yeah.
I think you've had some deaths, some close people, and you get a sense of mortality and aging and all that stuff. And speaking only for myself, I really don't have existential questions about anything anymore. It's just we live, we die. That's it. I'm bringing it to Pluribus. Shows or movies or books that grapple with existential things, they really don't. They just didn't do it for me anymore. Pluribus does. Like it had compelling existential questions, not about who we are in the universe. It's more of like, are we? Is our nature worth preserving?
Trevor,
This person, yeah.
Trevor, you know what time it is? It's time for Don's Tangent. And today...
Oh, God.
Hold on my soul. Today, Don's Tangent is all about Ascendants. Ascendants, coming out March 2026. Would you like to read a bit of the book?
Sure.
No, you can.
No.
And that's it for Don's Tangent.
No.
Come on, that's pretty good
I actually
timing.
want to do this because this is.
But that was good timing. Can I ask you?
This is rather important.
But let's go back to Pluribus for a second.
Yeah.
For 1 second. What? Do not bend my cover. My God, old man.
I think let me just finish. I think it asks interesting existential questions that have just become run of the mill. I mean, existential stuff has become run of the mill. I think it's asking fresh questions.
My concern is that it doesn't feel like there's a plan for season 2. I don't see where the show's going.
You don't think so?
I don't know if there is. Obviously, we don't know what's in his head.
Are you like one of those people that said that all the time about Lost? Like, they don't have a plan.
Yeah, and they didn't. And they said they didn't. Have you seen Lost?
Later in the seasons, they said they didn't. They had a plan, and then studio interference and stuff like that.
Point being, that's my concern. Is it just going to fizzle out? A little bit, and it could take years before it comes back. I mean, Stranger Things was at 9 years from start to finish.
What?
Stranger
what's that
Things?
show?
Never heard of it.
I abandoned that crap a long time ago.
Okay.
How was the final season?
It was okay. It was better than last season. After not watching it for like 3 or 4 years or whatever it is, you just kind of lose steam. So
season 4 was
a lot of these shows. I'm concerned that there's no plan, and then years go by, and it's not being set up for something.
I think Vince Gilligan has enough pull right now where he can have a plan or
decide what he wants to do.
He'll get the backing.
I am excited for Foundation to come back. You should really get into that. Big fan of Foundation.
That's Becky Fergs, right? Rebecca Ferguson. Oh, no, that's Silo.
That's Silo.
Yeah.
Silo. Rebecca Ferguson's great. Rebecca Ferguson could be great in a movie or TV adaptation of Ascendants, which comes out March 24th, 2026. Available on Amazon and all your book-loving stores.
This book by Don Schechter called Ascendants, a novel.
Just in case you weren't... you might be confused by this. I think it's a box or something.
It's so funny. Inside it says copyright 2026 by Don Schechter, and then below that is Don's company, the logo, and it says Charles River Media, and then below that it says in association with Charles River Media.
Yeah.
So Charles River Media in association with Charles River.
The publisher's below that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you have the logo.
No. This is
how print works.
This is
Do you
great.
see the designer and the publisher?
This is great writing
and all that information.
Fantastic. Don did something very heartfelt, I'm surprised to say. While we fight and bicker all the time, I can honestly say that Don is a good friend of mine.
And that's been Don's Tangent.
And he can be very compassionate and empathetic
to other people.
what he did is that he dedicated this book in memory of Johnny Lee Davenport. And Don, can you give us a background on who Johnny Lee is?
Wow. We've talked about Johnny Lee in the past in previous episodes. I know you don't listen to them or remember them. The age thing.
You're not kidding.
I'm not kidding. I know. Johnny Lee was this amazing actor. You know, we worked with him when we did the Ascendants anthology. But you know, he was this giant in like the theater scene. I mean, everyone who was acted, I think, with him for decades and decades knew him for his voice, his acting ability. He did movies. I'm blanking on a bunch of the movies, but I know he did. Like The Fugitive was like the one that a lot of people knew.
He did
the one with Jennifer Lawrence. I'm blanking on.
He did. I think it's called Joy.
Yep, Joy. He was in Joy. I think he was the
very
Lord in
good.
that.
He had scenes with De Niro, and he held his own with De Niro, which isn't easy.
Yeah, and he did great, but he was in like every play in this area. And he came to us during the filming of the first anthology as like a recommendation. We just needed someone with a good voice to come in and do this. And I remember him coming in, knowing his lines, waiting for setups, reading a sci-fi book. I'm like, oh, this guy's reading a sci-fi book. He's awesome. He'd get up there. He had such a presence and a great voice. And so when we came time to think about doing a second film, I was like, I want to just write a film where this guy speaks. And that's really where the second one came from. And so we became friends. And, you know, he passed away in 2020. But you know, his voice and the character that he played in those films is in this book as well.
And Don wrote, in memory of Johnny Lee Davenport, 1950 to 2020, a giant on stage and screen whose presence commanded meaning and a voice that unearthed truth with grace and gravity. His spirit helped breathe life into Ascendants, and his absence still reverberates. The echoes of his voice still speak. This book is for him. Every word that you wrote here is absolutely true.
Well, thank you.
He was awesome, and I miss him very much.
And I think give me my book back. You can't have this. I think what he
I'm getting
did.
a little teary here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And I appreciate you reading it. I know it's hard to sound things out. And I know it's the first time.
I did trip on
You did trip on something. We're not going to fix it. And I know it's the first time you've read poetry.
Yes.
So it's a big day for you.
Yeah.
As you approach your 60th birthday. You know what could make me fun of? This picture of me. I'm not showing the camera. At the end, there is acknowledgments
come on,
in
man.
here.
You look ridiculous. I mean, I always say you look ridiculous, but you actually, like, that's the photo.
Do you want to, you know what? I think because we talked about the anthology, why don't you just read the end of the acknowledgement section from And to the Cast? So this is for the folks who helped with the original film series. Please, you're such a good reader. Guys, you need the glasses? You want to go to CVS?
You know, it's so funny.
You need the
I
glasses.
have my readers with me.
My readers?
Yeah.
You call them readers?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Sonny.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. At least I don't call them my cheaters. That would be a
Cheaters?
whole, yeah. That's a whole other generation.
Oh.
And to the cast, crew, and supporters of the Ascendants anthology,
Good job.
your creative energy,
Read it for real. Read it for real.
and tireless work.
Read it for real.
Your creative energy and tireless work breathed life into this universe and gave birth to something far weirder than I suspect any of you realized. You have only yourselves to blame. That is so you. Thanks to all of you. This was a team effort. Any errors are obviously someone else's fault.
I figured you'd appreciate that.
That's you, Don.
So that concludes Don's tangent about Ascendants coming out March 24th,
This whole
2026.
podcast for the last 2 years has been Don's tangent.
I think you just realized that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Well, I think with that, we should get on to our guest. What do you think?
Yes.
I'm really excited that we have Andrew Mudge, who wrote and directed The Arborist, a film that I was involved with as a producer. I was really involved with
I think that's
pre-production
ultimately
stages.
what tanked the film, right? Was your involvement?
That's right. Well, I was, someone involved in the pre-production. Production was tough because of COVID and stuff like that. So I wasn't there as much during production, but then I got more involved on the post side. And
There was a
the
screening of it
distribution side.
at the Independent Film Festival Boston, and it was a sold out until your name showed up the
And then everyone
credits and
left.
about 3/4 of the audience walked out.
They just collapsed.
Yeah.
Collapsed to the ground. Well, we have an interview. Well, actually, we have an interview, but Andrew is coming in to talk with us. So stay tuned.
Bye.
Did you know Don is not at all requesting you purchase a copy of his sci-fi techno-thriller book, Ascendants right now? Available at ascendantsbook.com, amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and wherever books are sold. Please note, Trevor has left the building.
You want to join us? Mm-hmm. You want to maybe focus up? Sorry, we yell at, we just,
Oh yeah, I heard you guys have your own little thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's little.
I'm surprised you don't want me in the middle, breaking you. Is this the way? This is the way you want it?
Yeah, he doesn't want to look at me.
That's not the way I want it.
How do you want it? You don't want it to be
I don't
filmed.
want to be here.
You don't want to be here?
I don't want to be working with you
You were
anymore.
20 minutes late.
If it was just the two of us, it'd be fine.
I
But
see.
don't
I see.
wanna-
Okay, that
What would
makes-
you talk about?
Makes me feel a little better.
You don't watch movies, you don't read?
No, you don't watch
That's true.
movies,
That's true.
and I don't read.
That's right. I got that backwards.
Yeah,
didn't I?
you got it
Okay.
backwards.
Yeah, you don't watch good
I'm
movies.
trying to
I meant
read a book
say.
right now.
Ascendants?
No, I'm trying to read Marcia Clark's autobiography about the O.J. Simpson trial
old.
from
You are
like
so
25
old.
years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
That is really captivating content.
Yep.
Good for you. You on page 2?
You're not wrong.
Well, we have a special guest.
Yes, we do.
Who do we have here?
Andrew Mudge, local filmmaker. Hi.
That's
Hi,
it?
Andrew.
I don't know.
We're here
Welcome to the
to
show.
talk about a film.
Yeah,
A little
yeah.
film you did.
I
What
made
film
a-
did you make?
I made a little film, sort of supernatural horror thriller called The Arborist. It's out now. It's on Amazon and all the streaming platforms, and I hope people see it.
Great. Let's look at the trailer. What are you touching me for? You see that little cue? Did you get that? He touched me.
That was the cue.
To throw it to the trailer?
Yeah.
Can you go to your trailer?
That's a beautiful property you got. Been here a long time?
All my life, plus whatever's left of it.
Well, if you want to brief me on the job, we can start right away.
What are those things?
Trees are all marked. Everything that's marked gets destroyed.
Destroyed.
There's a tractor and a splitter in the garage. Grind the stumps out.
How many people live in that mansion, do you think?
Just him.
Just the old guy by himself?
What is that place?
Happier days.
The tree is dying.
What happened?
It became susceptible to fungus. At this point, it's basically killing itself.
Feel the weight. Feel the longing. When we share stories of our loss, we come to terms with our grief. We realize we're not alone.
What's out there?
It's too dark.
Wyatt. Help me.
I couldn't see.
The book says, yet he does not leave the guilty unpunished. He punishes the children and their children for the sin of the parents to the third and fourth generation. Oh, yes. Perhaps he's not telling the truth.
Wyatt doesn't lie. Wyatt!
Children are not supposed to die before their parents.
Where's my son?
Get out!
The world moves on, but for us,
Rachel! Rachel!
time is frozen in its tracks.
Full disclosure, I know a little bit about the film. I'm a little bit,
Don's a producer on it.
I think more of
of
like
fif-
your therapist, I feel
one
like
of 50
sometimes.
one of
One of
56. I don't have that many.
More than the producers on Super Troopers 2.
Was it really 200 on Super Troopers?
55.
55 producers on Super Troopers 2.
But
we
yeah,
don't know about
Kickstarter.
3. Oh, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell us about The Arborist.
It was a long project. It's that question is one of those. Do I talk about this story or the making of it? I love talking about making of things because I think they're so interesting. I can give you the little synopsis and the spiel. It's about a grief-stricken woman, an arborist who goes with her son to cut down trees at this mysterious estate of an old man, and weird, dark stuff starts to happen. That's tied to their personal history, and that's tied to the estate itself. It was COVID. I had made a first feature film 5 years earlier, I just had this. I wanted to make another feature, which is anyone who has that impulse, fucking shut that down.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Yeah, I so wanted to make another feature, and it was just in my bones for years. And then COVID, I had a project that I was really getting ready to make over in South Africa, which is actually where I made my first film. COVID happened, and like everybody, it was just like feels like the dreams just kind of popped, and like what is this? What am I going to do? And the industry just seemed to have like completely stalled out, and a friend of mine had this house where they made Little Women in Concord, Massachusetts. And she said, go use the pool sometime. And I went there. I couldn't believe this place. I didn't even know my friend owned this place. And I said, can I make a movie here? Like right away, I said, I want to make a movie.
Littler Women? What do you want to make?
I just said, I think I want to make a horror movie.
Yeah.
This place feels like there's something happened here. And I have to tell you something about that. Something did happen there. So this is a little...
I've not heard this.
I have not told you this.
This is a no-win scenario. Exclusive. There we go.
All right, so I felt like you walk onto this property and you're like, I don't know. I just felt like there's got to be a scary movie here. There's a scary movie here. There's a horror movie here. And they said yes. I didn't even have a story in mind. This is the summer of 2001. I would spend days just walking around the property with a notebook and just thinking of every idea I could think of. And it just kept coming back to ghosts. But what could I do that's interesting with ghosts? Kids murdered, kids in the woods dressed up as animals. I just have these like visions of like Pet Cemetery kind of costumes and then like characters, of course, coming into this world unknowing, like stories do. And then it just sort of came together. A woman, she's an arborist. She comes with her son. They've got a secret. They come to this place. This place has secrets. They start discovering things. They start seeing things. And then just let this be like a slow burn, almost suspenseful, not jump scare. I'm not really a hardcore horror guy with a capital H, which is maybe a problem for the film. But I don't know. I
think it's a benefit. I would just say I think it's a benefit.
I loved
it.
I loved it. It was so fun to think up and during COVID and the challenge of like one location. Like I love like starting with restrictions. These are the rules. You can't break these rules. And then 3 actors. Leave it at that. Now where it got hard is just my own naivete about the unions and about like, okay, I can keep this thing so small and low budget.
Right.
That started to change. And the way that changed, going from like, I want to keep it, my little film, my rules, my style, to like bigger than me and other rules and unions and not just one, but 2, that started to kind of, it got out of my hand.
Yeah.
It was like suddenly it was just like slipping through my fingers, like and I'm proud that we powered through, but things happen. It cost more and it was harder and the industry. I don't know. I'm a dreamer. I'm such an optimist, and I just like and you are too. Like one of the reasons I've always felt so grateful to Don is just like he also is the kind of purely a dreamer in many ways, and but like a lot of the
unlike
things,
the nightmare that Trevor is, right? Trevor's just like Debbie Downer over here. Sorry, you're doing good.
I have
Trevor.
dreams and I give up on them pretty quickly.
Well,
I know better.
At your age, it's too late.
Thank you.
Please continue.
Thank you.
Well, no, but it's just like it's a business. Filmmaking is
it's a business.
Also a business, and the business side it's hard.
Well, let's talk about the business. So, what did you want to make the movie for? And then what was the movie?
I think I wanted to make it for half that we made it for.
Yeah.
We made it for about one. Well, it depends if you count the mass rebate, but we raised, it was about 1.5.
Yeah.
I wanted to make it for about half that. And looking back, that was too, and especially since the original script was so much crazier and more ambitious. Scenes that would have, like I look now, I'm like, dude, that's like a $4 million movie.
Burning the forest down.
Burning forests and rainstorms
Yeah.
with kids through the windshield. Like they're trying to get out of there and it's a pouring rain and there's windshield wipers swiping water and there's like a kid right there.
Yeah.
You're like, this is a little bit what tortures a filmmaker. You can't quite get. I mean, unless you have the budget, you can't. You have to compromise all the time, and the compromises do add up. There is also weirdly fun and like thinking of an alt like thinking of a quick backup plan. You can't afford this big thing. What could you do? And there is kind of like a puzzle to it and like a fun challenge. And I remember a lot of late nights up with my wife. She's not really the idea person, but she's like listening to me and just like sometimes you just need to talk to somebody and the things come out of you. So the movie, we made the movie shot it in like 26 days.
We added, what did we add, a week because of a COVID
Yeah, we
issue?
took off a week and then, which kind of helped because we had to get our ducks in a row and there was a lot of things that were kind of the wheels were falling off the wagon. So a week helped us in a way, but
also cost what,
it cost a lot.
$200,000 or something, yeah.
And made the movie and tax rebate kicked in. That was awesome. It was like getting the money for post and paying back some debt. Post was fun but long. Like it was long because we actually have a lot of VFX shots in the film, and the guy who did it is awesome. Was awesome. Is awesome. But he had like a full-time job. He literally worked for like 3 hours on Saturdays for like a year and change working on VFX. So just slowly crawling through. And there were some reasons it took a long time.
And sound design. I mean, that was fun, going down to New York.
I enjoy the process so much.
Yeah.
Weirdly, I love the process. When it's done, I almost feel like, no, my job is done. I've enjoyed sound design is one of my favorite things.
Yeah. See, as an outsider, it looked like you moved pretty quickly here. Like you said you wrote the script in 2020?
Oh, we did. Oh, no. The pre-production and production was all very quick.
Yeah.
The post. So we filmed
because I attended a test screening, I believe, as early as 2022.
No,
but that yeah, maybe.
No, I think it was 2022.
It was right here in the No Win Scenario studio.
Yeah, but then there was VFX, and then there was
there weren't. Yeah, VFX weren't done, but
it was pre-visual. It was pre-score.
Looked pretty close.
Yeah,
it was probably pre-score.
But then there's this painful part. There's this part where you get a distributor. You want to wait for every. You want to be a king. You want to be knighted by one of the big festivals, right? So you got to just like sit around and get rejected for like a year until you're finally
from like the top like 10 or something.
Yeah, but you got to wait for a year for that top 10 to get through that. And I went through this exact thing with my first film, where you just wait and wait and wait, and then you're like, okay, finally we're done. But then the distributor wanted to hold out for another one, which was like another 6. There was one festival, South by Southwest. I mean, I kind of hate that I'm on a podcast talking about like the festivals we didn't get into, but whatever, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, and then it didn't get in, and then like just there's so many delays in distribution. I mean, God, look how long that was, and it's only now being distributed in February. So it just takes a long time.
Well, the entire rules of the game for distribution has literally changed in the last 5 years, and it sounds
crazy.
like you got caught up in the middle.
It's terrible. It's terrible timing.
You got caught up in the middle of it.
It is.
Independent film is taking it in the teeth right now.
It is. It's. I would say to anybody making a film, do it, awesome, but do not count on getting a dime back.
Yeah.
And even with what we have, this deal. Like a lot of people have reached out to me, oh, wow, how'd you do that? Amazing. Even the small advance that we got actually is kind of unique for a film that doesn't have big movie stars.
Yeah, and that's just a point to talk about. We talked with Kent Sanderson, my friend from he's now CEO of Bleecker Street.
Yeah,
and when they buy films, he said we buy based on I'm paraphrasing Kent, so I apologize. I don't mean it this superficially, but very much the calculation is how famous are the actors on the poster, and that correlates to a number they know of how much they can sell. So when they're buying a film to distribute, they can figure out like a minimum of what they think they're going to get roughly.
And it's too bad because I'll say this to the audience. It's sad that the industry depends on that because your film has solid performances in it. Solid performances.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, and I think it'll have its life. I mean, I'm glad I didn't want to self-distribute it. I'm glad we got a distributor, and They're doing everything. They're doing kind of what's normal. I followed a lot.
Did you know in advance that you didn't want to self-distribute?
Well, it's just purely a time and my energy.
Yeah.
I think you got to move on and focus on other things in your life. And I just didn't want it to be like the next big project that I did. Because to do it right, you got to spend a lot of time promoting it.
You're promoting, you become a marketer.
Yeah,
and
and
full-time
just
marketing, you're not going to do a good job.
I mean, even the little things I've seen them do, I don't know how they're getting it on these like.
Yeah.
I mean, well, if you self-distributed in theaters, like you do the cycle. And Trevor, and then you do it again, and you do it again, and you just do that circle for about 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
No, I got 3 little kids. It's like my life is totally different than it was when I made my first feature, where I did travel around the world, like showing it and stuff for like a year, and that was a blast and fun. I was just like, but no, I'm in a different place.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have it out there. I'm actually really excited.
I think people will love it, and I think what's really cool is maybe a year or 2 ago, I don't remember if I sent this to you, but someone sent me, I think it was an Instagram or TikTok video, that some random person was walking through the woods in Concord, came upon the house before it was taken down, and found like the movie was called Woundwood, which we'll talk about in a second, but like the original, like the tree mural that's in like the creepy, first floor estate. Like, oh my God, what a creepy house. Like, this would be such a great movie. And that got forwarded to me, and I must have sent it to you. I mean, it is amazing.
This reminds me, I got to tell you the true story. Remember, I told you there's So I got an email like a year ago from a man who said that he wanted to know about this film that he heard about in Concord. And the reason he was so curious about it is because his mother grew up in that. Remember that there's the mansion, and then there's the cottage. There's the gatehouse. It's the end of the driveway which is actually, we use it in the movie as where they stay. And his mother was a child, grew up in that house because his mother's parents were the caretakers to the rich people in the mansion, and she was like abused. She's got dark and her name was the same name as our protagonist in the film.
Oh my God!
How crazy is that?
Wow.
So this woman who had a traumatic childhood in that house. And because the guy said he wanted to make sure that his mother never saw the movie or something like that, because that land to her was all bad memories. And then he said the mother's name, and I had goosebumps because it was Ellie.
How did you come up with that name? Just out of thin air?
Out of thin air. Just when I was walking around the land, I was like, Ellie.
That's crazy.
Weird, huh?
That is super creepy.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I had my own horror experience. It was probably the first time I met you. So the backstory is Trevor, an audience, was that a connection of ours who happens to be in our studio over there said, I have a friend on the phone. He's curious if I know you and can send over a script. And I read the script and I love the script. So I think the first time I met you was at the estate. I think you like to show people what it was because it sells getting involved more than anything else. Yeah. And so I went and it was in my work clothes and all that stuff. And I'm driving back on 95, the highway, getting back to the office. And all of a sudden my stomach is itching and burning. I'm driving in traffic in about half an hour to get here. Driving, I'm like, this is horrible. Like, what's wrong? I was wearing like an undershirt and a button-down shirt. I get into the building, like something's wrong. And I go into our conference room and I'm like, what's with I take off my shirt.
Ticks.
Covered in ticks.
Oh my God.
I've never seen a tick in my life, mind you. I'm from New York City. I've never seen a tick. I don't know, maybe it was 10 ticks on me. I'm like, what the hell? And I start brushing them off, and they just like are in the conference room on the floor, and I just close the door, not knowing that they last forever.
That place was tick heaven. I got anaplasmosis 2 times from that property.
What does that mean?
It's like a tick-borne. It's not Lyme's, but it's better for long-term. Like, you don't have long-term effects like some people with Lyme's do. But when you get it, it's bad. And twice I was like under the bed sheets, sweating, shivering, almost went to the hospital.
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
Ticks.
I just want to say that's really heavy duty story, and that's really intense. About my sister and Lyme disease, but. When you got to the part of the story where you said you took off your shirt, I threw up a little bit in my mouth and it was really, really
too intense
disgusting.
for you? Just the Don abs?
This
Just
film,
too-
this film that you guys made together, it has some chills in it.
This
But
is the
that,
scariest.
that
But it
was
doesn't.
terrifying and nauseating. And I don't ever want to hear that again.
And
Thank
that's
you.
the ending we should have had.
We should have had it. Oh, speaking of
take
the
off
end,
your
that would have
Yeah,
worked.
well,
you know?
it would
That
have
would've
never
sold
been distributed.
That would have sold some tickets,
no,
I'll tell you.
No, I promise you it wouldn't sell a ticket.
My wife would have buried it. Actually, I did want to ask you, one of the things I loved about the original script was like the fact that this estate was going to be knocked down.
Yeah.
You know, so that was a limitation where we
Yeah.
had a time frame. We had to cast very quickly. We
Yeah.
can talk about that in a second. We get the film done. And at the end, you incorporate it into the script.
Yeah.
But one of the interesting things about it being such an not such an independent film, but an independent film is like when I read it on paper originally, you're going to see like the bulldozer crashing and things like
Yeah.
that and all that stuff. And then there were limitations on the actual
There sure
day.
were.
So I'm curious how you felt about that and sort of what happened there, because I think I was out of town or something. But I was surprised.
Yeah, I mean, we'd kind of pushed hard on that property and the managers of that property for the whole making of it. So when it came time for them to demolish the house, we could do it, but we couldn't break as many rules as we wanted to. Like, you know, we couldn't because they're going to come and demolish it, and I can't have them. They basically wouldn't leave like.
crane or
I
something?
knew I couldn't blow it up. I couldn't burn it down. I couldn't like.
But during production, like you could break windows.
And we did. I mean, little things. We nailed. Oh, I mean, the windows. I won't
plumbing,
get into
too.
that. Like I tried to. I had all these scenes where they're smashing through windows, and this is when I find out. No, you can't break windows on a movie set. If you own the window, like you can't break a window on a movie set. You have to take the windows out and replace it with very expensive, you know, fake movie
Sugar glass.
Sugar
Sure,
glass.
yeah.
But when we drilled into all, you know, lights were hung everywhere, and it was awesome to not have to worry about the house, to just like do, the whole third floor was like wood chips and trees. You know, we built like a thing with just tons of vegetation and vines and literally trees they brought in to create this sort of this surreal third end of the movie, which is funny because one of the most stressful days of the movie, this fire department came. We had a fire alarm for some reason, and we were shooting that scene. And you know, in a movie, you only have like 4 hours to get all these, like, you're so raced against time. Fire department comes, and I was like, they're gonna go to the third floor, and they're gonna see that we have made the most, like, it's a tinderbox, this house. Just dead trees everywhere, roots, branches, like dry wood chips on all the halls, like, and I was like, they're going to shut it down. And I just went for a walk around the woods with my phone, waiting to be told that
Day's over.
it's over, and that I've lost the end of my movie and I'm totally screwed. And then I got a text that they left. And, you know, in my absence, level-headed people convinced the fire department not to look behind the door, which was the door to the stairs. Yeah.
Interesting.
They never saw it.
It's funny because once many years ago, we were doing a shoot in here. It was probably a few weeks after we had built some sets in here. So they were like little pieces of wood particles and chips probably still around. And I think we had like 25 people in the studio. And there was like a very fast fan that was supposed to blow someone's hair back for a shot. Mm-hmm. And so they turn on the fan, and like the wood debris probably went up into the ceiling, and the alarms start going off in the whole building. Now, keep in mind, the fire department is about 30 seconds away from this building, and where our facility is connected to or with a TV station. So they come fast. We had track blocking every exit in the studio, right? And rail. So I'm like, oh my God, the fire alarm's going off. We're like, oh my God, that must be us. And then we start hearing the sirens like right away. And I was just like, get everybody out of the studio. Like we had like 15 people like trying to get like the speed rail up and all that stuff. Yeah. And then they came in, they said, everything good? We're like, yeah, we're good. It was a mistake. They're like, okay, we'll show you how to like disable it in the future. Just give us a call and disable it. Cause you know, so you get away with a lot more, you know, making a movie or you know, shoot.
Jesus, that was riveting. Oh my God. You really know how to tell a story.
I do.
I thought we were here to talk about Andrew's movie. Let's get back to that. No, don't you know
this is about me? Yeah. It was your podcast idea
that you hijacked.
That I hijacked.
And you're using it to sell.
Your editing,
you're using it to sell your products. Yeah.
Do you guys need me to step out so you can
all right,
like hug it out?
There's never any hugs between
touching.
us.
There's never been a touch.
No.
I think once.
Okay. I just saw one. Yeah.
Please, Trevor, continue with your.
What? How much did you storyboard in advance, or how much did you work with your DP to decide on the lensing, or?
I worked with my DP a lot. I mean, because having the place 24/7 was just like a tremendous gift. So we were there all the time together.
But people were supposed to live there originally, right?
The people were living there.
No, but it's the actors, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't
no,
it
not the
plan?
actors, but there was crew living there for like 2 weeks, and then all the plumbing got all backed
All right.
up, and it was like,
Oh my God.
there was feces dripping into the base. It was a total mess.
That's a story.
That's a good
Oh,
story.
yeah, yeah.
I
And
apologize.
Chris-
a good story.
You like a good poop story.
Yeah, that's
And one of my producers, Krista Minto, went down there on her hands and knees with gloves and like cleaned up crap from the basement. And what happened is
it's like working on one of your films.
It is, except in this case, I wasn't really involved till after.
so we had to get out of there. We did not step, which is another, that's another
The
example.
porta
like
potty. Ugh.
Oh yeah. So wait, what was you asked? What was that?
He was asking about DPs.
Your director
storyboards.
Don't worry, we'll cut this out. Just
Yeah, I did.
say what-
No, I did some storyboards, but not much.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm a shot list.
Yeah.
I don't draw. I can't draw. So
Yeah.
storyboards is sort of, but I like shot list for sure, and go through it all, and then it's just stick figures on a that kind of storyboard.
What I find more interesting, Trevor, as a question, is to kind of take us through the casting process and who we ended up with, because that was extremely rushed.
The casting director started sending it out. I mean, it was kind of, with kids, it was just a lot easier because the kids were reading. We weren't going for like a name kid. We were just auditioning kids. So it was just every day looking at 5 new kids on a video that were auditioning in LA and New York. And some pretty big kids. It was kind of interesting. And then that was more straightforward. And then with like Ellie, the main role, it was this pursuit of, somebody who was kind of recognizable. So it wasn't about auditions. It was about finding
Who could be on that poster, right? And who could be on that poster and help sell the film when it's over?
It was going out to people who we wanted, and then you can only go out once at a time. You have to have fidelity to like your offer. You can't be offering 3 people at once. And then they have a window of time that they're gonna read it and get it back to you. So, and that window of time is like a week. So it really, like, time races by, and you try this person, no. Oh, you try this person, and it turns out they can't do it, even though you've just spent a week waiting on that, and on and on and on. So it got down to like a very uncomfortable. We had to start shooting because the house was going to come down. We only had the fall.
And in Boston, like, the fall is short because it'll start
we
being
can't
a
be
blizzard
filming.
soon.
We can't be shooting this in November.
Yeah.
So we couldn't push it. We already pushed it once, and then Lucy. I was delighted. I mean, I had a bunch of options, like, because once we kind of, stopped reaching for these recognizable names, the world was our oyster. We had a lot of options, and I liked Lucy a lot, and I thought she did a great job. Before Lucy came in, you enter this game of, like, it all happens so quick that you can't even really decide if the person's going to be good. You're just like, they're a number on a star meter, and like, you got to just like say yes because that number is high. And there was somebody from Twilight, an actress that was in the movie Twilight, who I guess was kind of, people were like, wow, if you can get her, that'd be great. But there's no evidence. There's no like metric that says like she will sell the movie or even be good. And then she said yes. And then her agent came in.
Weeks went by, right?
Yeah, a couple weeks. Yeah. And they had this unbelievable demand. Like, they came in and she wanted like $500,000, like all the money, the first $500,000 that ever came in, she gets. It's like to be made whole.
Yeah.
I'm going to work for you. I'm going to get SAG, and she was going to get. See, this is the kind of stuff. Like, I don't want to get too negative because I'll just.
But it's challenging and stressful.
I'll look at this in like a year and be like, what an asshole, like me just getting negative.
I look at this every day and look at Trevor and think, what
yeah, but
it's true.
But I mean, I hate agencies, like talent agencies,
but
because
it just goes
of this
how it's
thing.
stressful, and like making an indie film, and you have limited time.
Agencies do not want their clients to be in an indie film.
No.
Like, to be clear, they absolutely do not. Like, in the way people I know who have done this successfully, it's like it's because it's who they drink beers with on a Friday night. Like, they know this actor, they know, and and but like agents are like, you kidding me? Like a little indie film?
Well, forget that.
Not,
I have a
not
fri-
interested.
I have
Not
a-
even going to read it. Didn't even read it. You know.
I have a friend who we went in college. He had like he was doing a film for like either a class or like a thesis or something, and we overlapped with Jessica Biel. And they were friends, I think.
great
And
crush.
he asked if she would be in it. She said, sure. Like, it was like a little homework assignment video thing. She said, sure. And she was about to do it, is my understanding. And then her agent got wind of it and said, absolutely not. I mean, it was a student film. So, of course, that's ridiculous. But, like...
I think I thought of Jessica Biel for this movie.
I bet that was a play, though, to have her say yes, give you 3 weeks to get totally locked onto the idea that she was going to be
and
the
then
one,
start from scratch.
and then hit you with, and now your brain is locked into her, so we better come up with, and meet her demands.
Yeah,
I bet
well,
that was totally a play.
Yeah, it wasn't about finding more money for the film. It was totally betraying all the investors. It was like it was a total betrayal of every contract with every investor to say like, oh, you're definitely not going to see a dime because the first $500,000 goes to this actor. So I'm so glad that didn't work. I'm so glad. I'm actually like I talked about earlier, like the relationships I had with actors and no egos. Just totally were there to work and to be receptive and to be open, and there just wasn't any like drama that you would associate
working professionals.
Yeah, but I think you're not always going to get that with bigger names. You're going to get people who bring something, have expectations that So yeah.
So now we've just got a few minutes left. Would you do it again, knowing what you know now?
Yeah, I mean, I think. There's a bunch of things, I think about that all the time. Yeah. There's certain things I'd want to correct. I absolutely would be open to doing again. I don't think I want to self-produce again. And that, unfortunately, that probably means I can't, I need to be at a point where someone is like, Andrew Mudge is a really good writer-director. I want him to make a movie for us, for our company. And I don't, going back to what you said, the industry's changed so much. I have friends that are much higher on the directing thing, and they can't get work for years. Right. That I don't know. I am open to it. I would love to do it. I truly would love to do it. But there was a lot of, getting back to the mental health thing, like just doing it, producing it yourself, being responsible financially, seeing the wheels come off the wagon and know that you got to figure out, ultimately it's up to you to figure this out, was very, very stressful. It was the most stressful month of my life, and no sleep. And a lot of it was not having, not being supported. I mean, you were there, but you kind of were much more of a bigger deal after production where, so yeah, it was hard.
Yeah. It was tough too because it's funny. Well,
it's hard.
It was hard, and it was hard with COVID. Everybody was tested every day. I couldn't come every day, so that meant I could only show up every fourth or fifth day or something. But was the stress of because you were primarily you were raising the money from everyone you knew.
I was.
Was that weight of I've just raised $1 million from people I know and myself, and
yes,
I have to deliver now? And does that go away? And
no.
How do you feel now?
You make peace. I mean, it's super stressful, and this was a film where we had to go back and raise more. I would do I always think about what's a movie idea that you could do for nothing. I always get excited about that. Is there a movie you could do for 10, 20 grand? That would be so whoa, cool. What an idea. It's hard. Those ideas are kind of like catching lightning in a bottle. Really hard to bring that idea together and make something that's unique. It's every once in a while someone pulls it off. I love those stories. But you know what I mean? That idea that it's harder now. I mean, when we were watching films, it was the Brothers McMullen came out, or El Mariachi, and they weren't even that good. Yeah. But independent film was so nascent. It was electrifying that people were making these indie films. You make a feature film, you go to Sundance. It's you make a feature film, you finish it, you take it to Sundance, or something like that. Think about how different it is now. That said, I daydream all the time about what if this entire movie that was set, in an elevator, and it's so good because of this.
But it's so hard to bring people together to make a movie. It's such a collaborative thing. So maybe that's dead, and now it's like we need to make a 15-second TikTok that tells that story somehow. Is that where we're at?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because my director friend, who's a bit of
assisted suicide for that. I guess I shouldn't. Sorry.
One of my mentors is a director.
Stay with us, Trevor.
I'm here.
And he's doing that exact thing.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah. 15. Yeah. But I don't know.
It's not for you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not for me. It's like there's too much work. I love feature films. I love feature full length movies. And but yeah, I mean, and I love the stories of people who break through and make something that you're just like, I mean, I can't think, like, there was that horror movie that was like called what the hell was it called? It was like all in a house, but no people in it. It was like a little weird.
Skinamarink?
Skinamarink.
I saw that in the theater.
Okay, is Skinamarink any good? But
Trevor doesn't like any movies, in my opinion.
I thought it was good.
Oh.
I can understand why people hate it. I thought it was just a masterfully crafted film, solely made of tone.
Exactly.
No story. Solely
right?
made of tone. A friend of mine walked out with me and he said that was literally about nothing. And I couldn't deny him that. I'm like, you're absolutely right. It was about nothing.
Yeah.
Terrified the hell. I own a copy of it and I'm afraid to watch it again.
Okay, so there we go. I mean, that was an example.
And it looked like it was made for $6.
Yeah.
That's all the better for it.
It was made for $6 and it made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And Hundreds of Beavers, I think is the name of the title,
that
is another example.
And he's self-distributed.
Yeah, so I have a lot of admiration for people who are just doing shit that Hollywood would never do.
Yeah.
I think that we made a movie in a ways that it is sort of like a Hollywood movie.
It is. I tell people it's a real movie.
It's a real movie.
It's like you don't see a lot of independent films that are like, it's a real movie. You don't see the flaws as much as a lot of other films. So I think it'll have a long life. I think we got to let you go, but like, what do you want people to take away from your film? Like, why? Give us the sentence pitch here.
I feel like at the core, if I'm being totally honest, I want people to give the film a chance. Like, I want people to, it's not a jump scare, bloody horror. It's not a capital H horror film. It's sort of much more of a suspenseful, slower, a little bit more poetic fable. Someone at a screening once said to me that they felt like it was a novel. They felt like they'd read it. They're like, oh, this feels like I just read a novel, and I like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like having a place in the world where I've made something small that means something to fewer people. It doesn't need to change the world. It's it's hard to talk about it because you're so close to it that it's like your baby. It's like your child, and I'm proud of it for its flaws. But I like it to have a chance. I'd like people to see it, and I'm totally happy that it does.
And as of this recording, people are going to start seeing it real soon.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me the chance to represent the film. I'm flying out to, I don't know if I told you, Trevor, he's letting me fly out to LA next week. So I get to leave the studio.
You told me.
And
he's going out there for the advanced opening.
Advanced opening.
And, I'm really
How long
psyched.
are you going to be out there?
I get like a day and a half. So
The air will be clean for a day and a half. Thank you.
as you know, I love
did it for
flying.
you.
I really
But
appreciate it.
you can come. There's room on the back of the plane for you. I think.
Maybe that's when you go to the wife's house, his house.
And have dinner.
No comment on that one. Well, Andrew Mudge, the Arborist, we're going to
Thank
just
you,
say it's out
Andrew.
by the time
Thanks,
this comes
guys.
out.
This
Thanks
is
for
a
coming.
weird
We're so
interview.
sorry. You should see what we're doing next.
I've never done anything like this.
There you go. Never again.
Well, then we'll have you back for the next one.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
And now it's time for a no-win scenario fun fact. Don is confused by the metric system. Trevor has been trying to convince Don to go on Nutrisystem.
And that is it, Trevor. It's been lovely to be back with you in studio here in
I
2026.
can't say the feeling's mutual, but
Well, I'm trying to start fresh and clean.
yeah, you've
Unlike
done such
your
a great
laundry.
job. You've done such a great job.
I feel like you wear that every time you come.
Well,
Is this like
it's
your
my
podcast
sci-fi thing. It's my Mass Effect jacket.
Oh, it's Mass Effect. Sorry.
I love Mass Effect.
Right. I wasn't born in the 60s.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's replaced Star Wars for me.
Okay.
Because Star Wars sucks now.
Oh, it's kind of gone downhill a little bit.
Kind of.
Yeah. Let me ask you before we go. Star Trek. You know, we're not going to get into a deep dive for like Starfleet Academy right now, but you know, there's this faction of fans who like really into the new Trek, right? I believe they call it New Trek with Discovery and now Starfleet Academy. And there's people who want to go back to where it was. Where do you fall on that spectrum?
So let's be honest. I'm happy that Trek is held on for as long as it has. I'm happy that new generations are finding their way into Trek, regardless of the direction that they come into it. I'm happy that Trek is still out there taking chances, you know, and occasionally succeeding and often falling flat on its face. I feel that Trek, I don't know from an industry point of view, but as a fan, Trek is doing far better than Star Wars is, and I'm happy that it's still in some capable hands. And I love Trek. I'm going through the original series right now, but I'm also looking forward to the next season of Strange New Worlds. And I'm finally going to start Lower Decks. I'm going to start watching Starfleet Academy.
Okay.
I
just wish
I'm
there was
grateful for
Legacy.
it.
I just wish Legacy was teed up so well. So we'll see. I mean, a lot of change is happening over at Paramount. So we'll see how the year shapes up.
Well, not good
next few years. Well, it's a whole other thing.
That's the thing that I'm worried about.
Yeah.
But like, what was your opinion? I didn't watch it. What was the Michelle Yeoh movie?
Section 31.
So that was like,
it was probably the worst piece of Trek ever made.
Like people like,
yeah, it was pretty bad.
Are like angry about it.
Yeah, it was disappointing because it could have led to a series of. I always thought when I was a kid that it would be great to have a bunch of like mini-series Star Treks.
Yeah.
It would do well there. Star Trek does best as a TV show. It was just not very good.
What was it? But it wasn't a movie per se. It was like a TV
It was like a pilot.
movie.
It was a TV movie or
Yeah.
maybe a pilot for a show set up. It just didn't quite work out.
What was so bad about it? Everything?
Everything.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, everything. And I hate to say something like that. It just was not something. It's completely forgettable.
Yeah.
But I think in general, the problem with Trek right now is that they're stuck on these like 10 or 12 episode seasons and the development of the characters, because I really care about character development. You know that more than other things. It's not there. It's hard to do it in 10 episodes. You know, I know you can do it in
It's
2 hour
hard to
movie,
do. It's hard to do in
cast.
10 episodes with that large of a cast,
Yes.
which is what Trek requires.
So you need those 20, 30 episodes.
Yeah, Trek requires, and if I could say this about another show that I think tackles the same problem very well, but is completely different. I think The Pit, which is an amazing show. They have it right because they have a large cast and they get 15 episodes, which isn't enough, but which isn't as
10
much.
or 12.
Yeah, it isn't as much as 22, 23.
Yeah.
But it's necessary for The Pit because the cast is that big.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, Trek shows I think would benefit from a longer season. And man, they're going, as is a lot of TV, they're going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So
that's why our No Win Scenario podcast this year, our goal is 22 episodes and not the 3 or 4 that you promised me this year.
That's our goal.
Well, Trevor, we're going to wrap this up.
Donald. Is that you reaching to shake my hand?
No, that's me to say, why are you calling me Donald?
Because I know it pisses you off.
It certainly pisses me off. So
that pisses him off. And when I say Dune 1984.
It's like, sounds like Wonder Woman 1984. That's what really bothers me. Well, thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you.
That's interesting. That was like a very ending thank you. You know, watch on our YouTube page, at No Win Scenario Podcast. Subscribe on all your platforms. And we'll see you next time.
And watch Don's movie, The Wound Wood.
Nope, stop it.
And
we didn't talk about that with Andrew.
His book called The Descendants. And available at no outlets that you're aware of or anybody else for that matter. The Descendants. The Descendants.
Ascendants. As in
the
Apple.
Punk band and the movie
Ascendants
are presently
book.
suing Charles River Media right now over the name The Descendants.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. In today's world, mental health is everyone's concern. If you or someone you know is in crisis, please use these resources. For U.S. listeners, call 1-800-950-6264 or text Helpline, all one word, HELPLINE, to 62640 or email helpline@NAMI.org. That's NAMI.org. For our international listeners, please visit suicidestop.com. That's SUICIDESTOP.com.